Today I'm thrilled to share a game-changing video with you, where we dive into the timeless wisdom of one of the most influential books ever written, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. But here's the exciting twist. We're taking a visual approach to unlock its transformative secrets. Get ready to embark on a mind-expanding journey as we utilize the power of a mind map to break down the 13 principles outlined in this iconic book. Introduction. Thoughts are things. Truly, thoughts are things, and powerful things at that, when they are mixed with definiteness of purpose, persistence, and a burning desire for their translation into riches or other material objects. The man who thought his way into partnership with Thomas Edison. Many years ago, Edwin C. Barnes discovered how true it is that men really do think and grow rich. His discovery did not come about at one sitting. It came little by little, beginning with a burning desire to become a business associate of the great Edison. One of the chief characteristics of Barnes's desire was that it was definite. He wanted to work with Edison, not for him. Barnes was ready for a business association with Edison. Moreover, he was determined to remain ready until he got that which he was seeking. He presented himself at Mr. Edison's laboratory and announced he had come to go into business with the inventor. Years later, Thomas Edison said, "He stood there before me, looking like an ordinary tramp, but there was something in the expression of his face which conveyed the impression that he was determined to get what he had come after. I had learned from years of experience with men that when a man really desires a thing so deeply that he is willing to stake his entire future on a single turn of the wheel in order to get it, he is sure to win. I gave him the opportunity he asked for because I saw he had made up his mind to stand by until he succeeded." Subsequent events proved that no mistake was made. Barnes literally thought himself into a partnership with the great Edison. He thought himself into a fortune. He had nothing to start with except the capacity to know what he wanted and the determination to stand by that desire until he realized it. He did not say to himself, well, what's the use? I guess I'll change my mind and try for a salesman's job. But he did say, I came here to go into business with Edison, and I'll accomplish this end if it takes the remainder of my life. He meant it. What a different story men would have to tell if only they would adopt a definite purpose and stand by that purpose until it had time to become an all-consuming obsession. He had no money to begin with. He had but little education. He had no influence. But he did have initiative, faith, and the will to win. With these intangible forces, he made himself #1 man with the greatest inventor who ever lived. 3 feet from gold. One of the most common causes of failure is the habit of quitting when one is overtaken by temporary defeat. Every person is guilty of this mistake at one time or another. In a different situation, a man who had plenty of tangible evidence of riches, but lost it, because he stopped 3 feet short of the goal he was seeking. Darby was caught by the gold fever in the gold rush days and went west to dig and grow rich. He started working with pick and shovel. After weeks of labor, he hit a rich vein and was rewarded by the discovery of shining ore. He went back home and raised funds to buy machinery to extract the ore. After shipping the first car of ore and realizing they had a profitable mine, he returned to drill for more. But something happened. The vein of gold disappeared. Despite drilling and searching for it, they never found it again, and ultimately decided to quit. After the vein of gold ore disappeared, they sold their machinery to a junk man for a few $100s and went back home. The junk man, however, was not as foolish as they thought, and he called in a mining engineer to assess the mine. The engineer found that the project had failed because the owners were unaware of fault lines. The engineer calculated that the vein of gold ore would be just 3 feet from where the Darbys had stopped drilling. This is where the vein was ultimately found. Not impossible. One of the main weaknesses of mankind is the average man's familiarity with the word impossible. Success comes to those who become success-conscious. Failure comes to those who indifferently allow themselves to become failure-conscious. Another weakness found in altogether too many people is the habit of measuring everything and everyone by their own impressions and beliefs. Some who will read this will believe that no one can think and grow rich. They cannot think in terms of riches because their thought habits have been steeped in poverty, want, misery, failure, and defeat. Henry Ford determination. Many people envy the achievements of successful individuals like Henry Ford without knowing the secret of their success. It suggests that only a few people truly understand the simplicity of the key to success, but these individuals may be too modest or hesitant to share it with others. Many years back, Ford decided to produce his now famous V8 motor. He chose to build an engine with the entire 8 cylinders cast in one block, and instructed his engineers to produce a design for the engine. The design was placed on paper, but the engineers agreed, to a man, that it was simply impossible to cast an 8-cylinder gas engine block in one piece. Ford said, "Produce it anyway," but they replied, "It's impossible." "Go ahead," Ford commanded, "and stay on the job until you succeed no matter how much time is required." 6 months has passed. Despite their efforts, the engineers were unable to figure out a solution to the task they were assigned. They tried every conceivable plan to carry out the orders, but to them, it was just impossible. 1 year has passed. Ford checked with his engineers, and again, they informed him they had found no way to carry out his orders. "Go right ahead," said Ford. "I want it, and I'll have it." They went ahead, and then, as if by a stroke of magic, the secret was discovered. The Ford determination had won once more. Henry Ford is a success because he understands and applies the principles of success. One of these is desire, knowing what one wants. First step towards riches, desire, the starting point of all achievement. Desire was not a hope. It was not a wish. It was a keen, pulsating desire, which transcended everything else. It was definite. Wishing will not bring riches. One must have a strong and obsessive desire for wealth, backed by a clear plan and persistent action towards its attainment, which is the first step towards riches. No possible way of retreat, win or perish. Let's look at how these remarkable people, whose desire to win is definite and never consider retreating as an option. Let's take a look at Barnes's desire to win before he successfully became Thomas Edison's business associate. Barnes did not say, "I will work there for a few months, and if I get no encouragement, I will quit and get a job somewhere else." He did say, "I will start anywhere, I will do anything Edison tells me to do, but before I am through, I will be his associate." Barnes did not say, "I will keep my eyes open for another opportunity in case I fail to get what I want in the Edison organization." He did say, "There is but one thing in this world that I am determined to have, and that is a business association with Thomas Edison. I will burn all bridges behind me and stake my entire future on my ability to get what I want." He left himself no possible way of retreat. He had to win or perish. There is a story about a great warrior who faced a situation where he had to ensure his success on the battlefield against a powerful foe. The warrior and his troops sailed for days and reached the shores of the enemy. They disembarked, and the warrior understand. In order for his troops to win against the powerful enemy, he has to eliminate any possible way for them to retreat. So, he made a decision and ordered his men to burn the ships that brought them to the enemy's shore, giving his soldiers no choice but to win the battle or perish. And they won. Every person who wins in any undertaking must be willing to burn his ships and cut all sources of retreat. Only by so doing can one be sure of maintaining that state of mind known as a burning desire to win, essential to success. After the Great Chicago Fire in 1871, a group of merchants gathered to decide whether to rebuild their destroyed stores or leave Chicago and start anew in a more promising area. All of them, except one, decided to leave Chicago. Marshall Fields, the merchant who decided to stay and rebuild, pointed a finger at the remains of his store and said, "Gentlemen, on that very spot, I will build the world's greatest store no matter how many times it may burn down." Eventually, the store was built. Marshall Field could have chosen the easy way that would be exactly what his fellow merchants did. Looking dismal at the future, pull up and going where seems to be easier. 6 steps of desire for riches. Wishing will not bring riches, but desiring riches with a state of mind that becomes an obsession. Then planning definite ways and means to acquire riches and backing those plans with persistence which does not recognize failure will bring riches. The method by which desire for riches can be transmuted into its financial equivalent consists of 6 definite, practical steps. Step 1. Fix the exact amount of money you desire in your mind. Simply stating, "I want a lot of money," is insufficient. It is necessary to fix a precise amount in your mind. Step 2. Determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the money you desire. That could be the amount of work or investment you need to put in. Step 3. Establish a definite date when you intend to possess the money you desire. Step 4. Create a definite plan for your desire and begin straight away. Step 5. Write a clear, concise statement based on Step 1 to 4. Step 6. Read your written statement aloud twice a day before going to sleep at night and right after you wake up in the morning. One may debate that it is impossible to see ourselves in possession of the money before actually attaining it. The solution to make this possible is through a burning desire. That's where you truly desire money so badly that your desire is an obsession. With this, we will have no trouble convincing ourselves that we will acquire it. Greatness of imagination. Based on Napoleon Hill, by successfully applying these 6 steps, we'll create sufficient imagination. These imagination will allow one to understand that accumulation of money cannot be left to chance, good fortune, or luck. Instead, accumulation of great fortunes begins with our dreams, hopes, wishes, desires, and plans before money are acquired. If you do not see great riches in your imagination, you will never see them in your bank balance. Every form of convenience we have today, skyscrapers, cities, factories, airplanes, automobiles, comes from the imagination of true leaders, and by putting unseen forces of unborn opportunity and converted them into practical uses today. Tolerance and an open mind are practical necessities of the dreamer of today. Those who are afraid of new ideas are doomed before they start. Failure is the seed of success. Every failure brings with it seed of an equivalent success. Suggests that failure is not the end of the road, but rather a stepping stone to future success. When we experience failure, we have the opportunity to learn from our mistakes, identify our weaknesses, and develop new strategies for achieving our goals. But success is not guaranteed simply because we experience failure. Thomas Edison dreamed of a lamp that could be operated by electricity, began where he stood to put his dream into action, and despite more than 10,000 failures, he stood by that dream until he made it a physical reality. Practical dreamers do not quit. For success to happen after failure, we must not quit, but continue our practical dreams, and along with a burning desire to be and to do, is the starting point from which the dreamer must take off. Before moving on to the next principle, Hill will like to remind us about our state of mind in hope, faith, courage, and tolerance. These state of mind, together with a working knowledge of principles described, all else that we need will come to us when we are ready for it. The second step towards riches. Faith. Visualization of and belief in attainment of desire. Faith is the head chemist of the mind. When faith is blended with the vibration of thought, the subconscious mind instantly picks up the vibration, translates it into its spiritual equivalent, and transmits it to infinite intelligence, as in the case of prayer. Faith, love, and sex are the most powerful positive emotions, and when they are combined, they have the ability to impact our subconscious mind and influence our thoughts. This coloring effect can help our thoughts to resonate with the spiritual realm and attract a response from infinite intelligence. How to develop faith. Faith is a state of mind which may be induced or created by affirmation or repeated instructions to the subconscious mind through the principle of autosuggestion, which is touched on in the next principle. The method of developing faith is incredibly difficult to describe, especially where it does not already exist. This is like describing the color of red to a blind man who has never seen color, and describing using comparison is non-existence. Faith may be developed at will through mastering the 13 principles along with a series of repeating affirmation in your subconscious mind. And this is the only known method of voluntary development of the emotion of faith. Belief, our subconscious mind, will manifest into physical equivalent. Negative thoughts can manifest as well as positive thoughts. However, millions of people rely on their belief in superstitious events, which referred to as misfortune or bad luck. These people believe themselves to be doomed to poverty and failure, as they have no control over the circumstances as other strange forces has over them. True enough, they are doomed because their negative belief has already manifested in their subconscious mind and translated into its physical form. We need faith. According to Hills, faith is the starting point of all accumulation of riches. Faith is the basis of all miracles and all mysteries which cannot be analyzed by the rules of science. Faith is the only known antidote for failure. Faith is the element, the chemical, which, when mixed with prayer, gives one direct communication with infinite intelligence. Faith is the element which transforms the ordinary vibration of thought, created by the finite mind of man, into the spiritual equivalent. Faith is the only agency through which the cosmic force of infinite intelligence can be harnessed and used by man. Thoughts which are mixed with any of the feelings of emotions, constitute a magnetic force which attracts, from the vibrations of the ether, other similar or related thoughts. The ether can be described as the existence of vibrations of the spaces within the human body, is a vast cosmic energy field that consists of both positive and negative vibrations. It contains destructive vibrations such as fear, poverty, disease, failure, and misery, as well as constructive vibrations like prosperity, health, success, and happiness. These vibrations are always present within the ether and can influence our thoughts, emotions, and circumstances depending on which ones we align with. The subconscious mind can manifest a thought rooted in fear with the same ease as it can manifest a thought based on courage or faith. The third step toward riches, autosuggestion, the medium for influencing the subconscious mind. Autosuggestion is self-suggestion. It is the agency of communication between that part of the mind where conscious thought takes place and that which serves as the seat of action for the subconscious mind. By the principle of autosuggestion, thoughts are deliberately directed to the subconscious mind, which then becomes influenced by them. Man is inherently designed by nature to possess complete dominion over the information that enters his subconscious mind through his five senses. However, it should not be inferred that man consistently exerts this control. In fact, the vast majority of individuals do not exercise this control, which accounts for why many people experience poverty throughout their lives. The subconscious mind can be likened to a fertile plot of land that will yield a bountiful harvest of weeds if the seeds of more favorable crops are not sown. To regulate this process, autosuggestion serves as a tool of control, empowering individuals to intentionally nourish their subconscious with constructive thoughts or, by omission, allow harmful thoughts to infiltrate this prosperous garden of the mind. How to use the written statement of 6 steps of desire correctly for autosuggestion to guide our subconscious mind. Read out aloud the written statement twice daily. Let's begin at night before going to bed. Read it loud with emotions. In your heart, you already know why you need that amount. By the first day December, I will have in my possession $300,000, which will come to me in various amount from time to time during the interim. In return for this money, I will spend 100 hours a week working on my product and services. I will give my best commitment in my product development, sourcing for new investors as well as customer sales and services. I believe that I will have this money in my possession. My faith is so strong that I can now see this money before my eyes. I can touch it with my hands. It is now awaiting transfer to me at the time, and in the proportion that I deliver the service I intend to render in return for it. I am awaiting a plan by which to accumulate this money, and I will follow that plan when it is received. Next day morning, repeat what you did last night again with emotions. This time, make sure you tell yourself you will start your action straight away, and repeat the same written statement the next night before going to bed. To truly internalize the sixth step of desire for riches, simply reading the written statement is insufficient. It is crucial to infuse the statement with emotion and feeling. To do this, you must ask yourself why you created the statement and why you need to be rich. You must have a compelling reason for this burning desire to acquire wealth. The fourth step toward riches: specialized knowledge, personal experiences, or observations. Knowledge will not attract money unless it is organized and intelligently directed through practical plans of action to the definite end of accumulation of money. There are two kinds of knowledge, basically general and specialized. General knowledge refers to information that is widely available and accessible to most people, such as basic education, common sense, and general life experience. This type of knowledge is important, but it is not necessarily enough to achieve great success and wealth. Specialized knowledge refers to information and skills that are unique and specialized in a particular field or industry. This type of knowledge is acquired through education, training, and experience, and it is often necessary for achieving success in a specific area. No matter how vast or diverse, general knowledge is of limited value when it comes to accumulating wealth. Collectively, the faculties of prestigious universities possess virtually every form of general knowledge that has been discovered by civilization. Most of the professors have but little or no money. Their specialization lies in imparting knowledge, but not necessarily in organizing or utilizing it. Behind every idea lies specialized knowledge. Specialized knowledge is a key component of the riches that individuals can achieve through focused effort and a positive mindset. By continually expanding their knowledge and skill set, individuals can position themselves for success in their chosen field and create value for themselves and others. Millions of people has this false belief that knowledge is power, which is not true. Simply possessing knowledge will not lead to the accumulation of wealth unless it is organized and intelligently directed towards a specific goal of accumulating money through practical plans of action. Making sure you know your major purpose in life and the goal you are working towards. That will help you find out what knowledge you need. Successful men in all callings never stop acquiring specialized knowledge related to their major purpose, business, or profession. Those who are not successful usually make the mistake of believing that the knowledge acquiring period ends when one finishes school. The truth is that schooling does but little more than to put one in the way of learning how to acquire practical knowledge. The fifth step toward riches: imagination. The workshop of the mind, the impulse, the desire, is given shape, form, and action through the aid of the imaginative faculty of the mind. Man can create anything which he can imagine, just like how man create airplanes that conquered that air, which can fly better than birds that was created by the Mother Nature. However, man's only limitation lies in his development and use of his imagination. He has only just realized that he possesses an imagination and has started utilizing it in a very basic manner. Two forms of imagination: synthetic imagination and creative imagination. Synthetic imagination involves rearranging pre-existing concepts, ideas, or plans into fresh combinations, without actually creating anything new. This ability operates using the raw material of experience, education, and observation with which it has been supplied. This is the imagination that is used most often in the process of wealth creation. Creative imagination enables the infinite human mind to establish a direct connection with infinite intelligence. It is this faculty that allows individuals to receive hunches and inspirations, and through which all new ideas are transmitted to humans. Great leaders in business, industry, and finance, as well as prominent artists, musicians, poets, and writers, achieved greatness by cultivating their creative imagination. As Hill mentioned, the synthetic and creative imagination strengthens through frequent use, just like our muscle. Conversely, it also becomes weak due to inaction. But it never dies. It can be revived through alert usage. Ideas make riches. An idea is an impulse that motivates action through its influence on the imagination. Ideas can be transmuted into cash through the power of definite purpose plus definite plans. Ideas are the fundamental of amassing wealth. The sixth step toward riches, organized planning, the crystallization of desire into action. You have gained knowledge that all human creations or acquisitions originate as a desire, which is then transported from the abstract to the concrete realm in the initial stage of its journey. How to build practical plans. Our plans takes place in the workshop of the imagination, where plans for its transformation are formulated and arranged. The Mastermind Alliance. Form an ally with a group of people who are interested in your plans, regardless how many there are. Come together and carry out your plans for accumulation of money. Before forming the alliance, decide what advantages and benefits you can offer to every individual members of your alliance in return for their cooperation. No one will work for an unlimited period of time without receiving some type of compensation. Even the most reasonable person will not demand or anticipate that someone else should work without sufficient compensation, which may not necessarily be monetary in nature. Set up a meeting with your members at least twice a week until the Mastermind Alliance have collaboratively perfected the required plan or plans for the accumulation of wealth. Ensure that you maintain absolute harmony with each member of your Mastermind Alliance. Disregarding this directive may result in failure. The Mastermind principle cannot be applied if complete harmony is absent. No one can accumulate a great fortune solely with their own abilities and resources. Cooperation from others is necessary. In the pursuit of wealth, plans should be jointly created with the Mastermind Alliance. While one can develop their own plans, they should be approved by the alliance. Never give up. A quitter never wins, and a winner never quits. If a plan you adopt fails to work, replace it with a new plan and continue doing so until you find a plan that works. Persistence in creating new plans to replace those that fail is crucial to success. Many people fail due to their lack of persistence in this regard. Therefore, it is important to select individuals who don't dwell on failure to be part of your alliance. Just keep this fact in mind, and remember when your plans fail, that temporary defeat is not permanent failure. Temporary defeat should indicate only that there is an issue with your plan. Countless individuals suffer a lifetime of misery and poverty because they lack a solid plan for amassing wealth. When plans failed, it simply indicates that your plans were flawed. Construct alternative plans and restart the process. Choose your members wisely. Leaders and followers. There are two types of people in the world. One is leaders there, other is followers. It is no disgrace to be a follower. On the other hand, it is no credit to remain a follower. Most great leaders began in the capacity of followers. They became great leaders because they were intelligent followers. With few exceptions, the man who cannot follow a leader intelligently cannot become an efficient leader. The individual who can efficiently follow a leader is typically the one who quickly evolves into a leader themselves. An intelligent follower enjoys various benefits, including the chance to gain knowledge from their leader. Crucial elements of leadership. 1. Unwavering courage. Unyielding courage rooted in self-awareness and expertise in one's field. A leader without self-assurance and bravery is not desired by followers, and intelligent followers won't tolerate such a leader for an extended period. 2. Self-control. A person who lacks self-discipline will never be able to command authority over others. Exhibiting self-control serves as a powerful model for followers, and those who are more intelligent will emulate. 3. A keen sense of justice. A strong perception of justice. A leader who lacks a sense of equity and impartiality cannot win and uphold the admiration of their followers. 4. Certainty in decision-making. A person who vacillates in their choices indicates a lack of confidence in themselves and cannot effectively guide others. 5. Clarity in planning. A prosperous leader must strategize their work and execute their plans. A leader who relies on speculation without concrete, well-defined plans is akin to a ship without a rudder, and eventually they will crash on the rocks. 6. Cultivating the habit of going above and beyond. One of the consequences of being a leader is the obligation for the leader to be willing to do more than what they demand from their followers. 7. An appealing character. An individual who is sloppy and heedless cannot attain triumph as a leader. Leadership necessitates admiration. Followers will not revere a leader who fails to exhibit all the traits of an appealing character. 8. Sympathy and understanding. A thriving leader must empathize with their followers. Additionally, they must comprehend their followers and the predicaments they encounter. 9. Mastery of detail. Flourishing leadership demands expertise in the particulars of the leader's role. 10. Readiness to bear complete accountability. A prosperous leader must be prepared to take on responsibility for the errors and inadequacies of their followers. If they attempt to pass the blame, they will not continue to lead. If one of their followers makes a mistake and proves to be incompetent, the leader must acknowledge that they themselves have failed. 11. Collaboration. A prosperous leader must comprehend and utilize the principle of collaborative effort and inspire their followers to do the same. Leadership necessitates authority, and authority requires collaboration. Primary reasons for leadership failure. In the book, the primary reasons for leadership failure are just the opposite of the crucial elements of leadership explained previously. Primary reasons for individual failures. 1. Lack of a well-defined purpose in life. Success is unlikely for individuals without a clear objective or a specific goal to pursue. 2. Lack of self-discipline. Self-discipline is achieved through self-control, which entails managing all negative traits. To be able to control external circumstances, one must first exercise control over oneself. 3. Procrastination. This is among the primary reasons for failure, waiting for an opportunity to sabotage their chances of success. Many people fail to accomplish their goals because they wait for the perfect moment to initiate worthwhile endeavors. There will never be a perfect time to begin. 4. Lack of persistence. Many individuals excel at commencing projects but struggle with concluding them. Furthermore, people have a tendency to relinquish their aspirations at the first indication of failure. However, nothing can replace persistence. Persistence is an adversary that failure cannot withstand. 5. Over-caution. An individual who avoids taking risks may have to settle for the leftovers after others have made their choices. Being overly cautious is equally detrimental as being insufficiently cautious. Both extremes should be avoided. Life is inherently infused with opportunities and risks. 6. Wrong choice of spouse. This is among the most prevalent causes of failure. Marriage creates an intimate connection between individuals. Unless this connection is harmonious, failure is probable. The consequences of a failed marriage are usually marked by distress and dissatisfaction, extinguishing all aspirations for success. 7. Egotism. These traits function as warning signs that repel others. They are detrimental to achieving success. 8. Inadequate education. This is a hindrance that can be overcome relatively easily. It has been shown that many well-educated individuals are self-made or self-educated. Obtaining a college degree alone does not make a person truly educated. An educated individual is someone who has learned how to attain their goals in life without infringing upon the rights of others. Education is more about how effectively and persistently one applies their knowledge rather than the knowledge itself. The 7th step toward riches, decision, the mastery of procrastination. Procrastination, the opposite of decision, is a common enemy which practically every man must conquer. The analysis of individuals who had amassed fortunes beyond $1 million revealed that they shared the habit of making decisions promptly and changing them slowly. In contrast, those who failed to accumulate wealth tended to make decisions slowly and change them quickly and frequently. Indecision. Indecision often starts in youth and can become permanent without a clear purpose. The weakness of education systems is that they fail to teach or encourage the habit of making clear decisions. In fact, it is not only youth that are affected by indecision, majority of the adults are guilty as well. Others' opinion. One of the common reasons people falls to indecision is due to others' opinion. People who fail to accumulate enough money are often influenced by the opinions of others, relying on newspapers and gossip instead of making their own decisions. This is a surefire way to fail in any endeavor, including the pursuit of wealth. To achieve success, one must be decisive and not let the opinions of others cloud their judgment. Definiteness of decision. Instead of listening to others' opinion, use your own brain and mind to reach your own decisions without being influenced by the opinions of others. It is recommended to acquire facts or information from other people quietly, without disclosing your purpose, to enable you to reach your decisions. By not disclosing your purpose, you will not lead others to jump into conclusion of what you are doing and give their opinion. The art of listening. People with a shallow knowledge often try to appear knowledgeable by doing a lot of talking and not enough listening. So the opposite is true. In order to develop the habit of making prompt decisions, it is advisable to keep your eyes and ears open and refrain from talking excessively. To impress knowledgeable individuals, it is better to remain silent and display modesty instead of speaking excessively, as this reveals the extent of one's knowledge or lack thereof. Genuine wisdom is often associated with being humble and reserved. Act in silence. If you talk about your plans too freely, you may be surprised when you learn that some other person has beaten you to your goal by putting into action ahead of you the plans of which you talked unwisely. Talking too much can be detrimental to your success, as it can prevent the accumulation of useful knowledge and also reveal your plans and purposes to envious individuals who may try to defeat you. Tell the world what you intend to do, but first show it. The eighth step toward riches. Persistence, the sustained effort necessary to induce faith. Importance of persistence. Persistence is an essential factor in the procedure of transmuting desire into its monetary equivalent. The basis of persistence is the power of will. Men who have amassed great fortunes possess a strong willpower that they combine with persistence and desire to achieve their goals. This makes them appear cold-blooded and sometimes ruthless, but they are often misunderstood. The combination of willpower and desire is a powerful force that ensures the attainment of their objectives. The majority of people give up on their goals easily when faced with opposition or misfortune, but a few persevere and attain their objectives. As Hill mentioned, to build a fortune, it generally involves the application of the entire 13 principles in this book, and they must be applied with persistence. Desire is the starting point of all achievements. Weak desires bring weak results, just as a small amount of fire makes a small amount of heat. If you find yourself lacking in persistence, this weakness may be remedied by building a stronger fire under your desires. To attract wealth, one must have a money consciousness, which can be deliberately cultivated through habits and attitudes. On the other hand, a poverty consciousness can easily develop if one's mind is not focused on attracting wealth. Money and poverty are attracted to individuals based on their dominant mindset and thought patterns. Without persistence, you will be defeated, even before you start. With persistence, you will win. These are some of the symptoms that leads to the lack of persistence that is detrimental to success. Indecision, procrastination, let idea and opportunity slip away, quitting, blaming others, lack of interest, finding shortcuts, fear of criticism, lack of organized plans, lack of ambition, self-satisfaction, weakness of desire, wishing for things to happen, relying on excuses. How to develop persistence. Step 1. Have a definite purpose. First, identify your purpose with a strong desire to succeed. Step 2. Have a definite plan. Next, take action on your plans with continuous effort. Step 3. a mind closed against negativity. Make sure you protect your mind against all negative and discouraging influences, including negative suggestions of relatives, friends, and acquaintances, as they might intentionally or unintentionally destroy your purpose and plan. Step 4. A friendly alliance. Together with one or more persons who trust the plan, purpose, and encourages each other. In times of any self-doubts developed in any individual, the other members help in realigning the purpose back on track. The 9th step toward riches. The power of the mastermind. The driving force. Power is essential for success in the accumulation of money. This principle describes the method an individual may use to attain and apply power. Without adequate power to implement them, plans remain unproductive and ineffectual. Power may be defined as organized and intelligently directed knowledge. Power is required for the accumulation of money. Power is necessary for the retention of money after it has been accumulated. Sources of knowledge. As power is organized knowledge, let's find out the sources of knowledge. Infinite intelligence. This source of knowledge may be contacted through the procedure described in another chapter with the aid of creative imagination. Accumulated experience. The accumulated experience of man may be found in any well-equipped public library. An important part of this accumulated experience is taught in public schools and colleges, where it has been classified and organized. Experiment and research. In the field of science and in practically every other walk of life, men are gathering, classifying, and organizing new facts daily. This is the source to which one must turn when knowledge is not available through accumulated experience. Here, too, the creative imagination must often be used. Gaining power through the mastermind. Mastermind is the synchronization of knowledge and effort in a spirit of harmony between two or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose. Collaborating with the right group of people can provide access to intangible sources of power such as collective intelligence, shared expertise, diverse perspectives, and a unified vision or purpose. A mastermind group allows individuals to pool their resources and leverage their strengths to achieve goals that may have been difficult or impossible to accomplish alone. The power of such a group lies in the synergy and harmony created among its members, resulting in a powerful force for achievement. There are two characteristics of the mastermind principle. One is the economic feature, and the other is the psychic feature. The economic feature is attainable through a group of people who offer advice, counsel, and personal cooperation, forming a cooperative alliance built on perfect harmony that has been the foundation of many great fortunes throughout history. Recognizing this truth can greatly impact an individual's financial status. The psychic feature of the mastermind is created when the spiritual components of two individuals' mental energies, which are a part of the human mind, form a connection as they align in a harmonious spirit. As the common saying goes, great minds think alike. Combining both features constitutes a group of like-minded people who are willing to share resources and work towards the common goal of wealth accumulation. This speeds up the entire accumulation process, as well as increases the likelihood of success. The 10th step toward riches. The mystery of sex transmutation. The word transmute means the changing or transferring of one form of energy into another. Sex transmutation will lift one to the status of a genius. Sexual desire. Sexual desire is the most powerful human desire, which can unleash various attributes in individuals, such as imagination, courage, willpower, persistence, and creativity. The desire for sexual contact is so strong that men may take significant risks to indulge in it. However, when this desire is controlled and channeled in other directions, it can be a powerful motivating force for individuals to excel in various professions, including the accumulation of wealth. The desire for sexual expression is inborn and natural. The desire cannot and should not be submerged or eliminated. The men of greatest achievement are those who have learned the art of sex transmutation. Mind stimuli. The human mind responds to stimuli through which it may be keyed up to high rates of vibration, known as enthusiasm, creative imagination, intense desire. The stimuli to which the mind responds most freely are the desire for sex expression, love, a burning desire for fame, power, or financial gain, money, music, friendship, between either those of the same sex or those of the opposite sex. A mastermind alliance based upon the harmony of two or more people who ally themselves for spiritual or temporal advancement. Mutual suffering, such as that experienced by people who are persecuted. Autosuggestion, fear, narcotics, and alcohol. 8 of these stimuli are natural and constructive. However, stimuli 9 and 10 are destructive. The 11th step toward riches, the subconscious mind, the connecting link. The subconscious mind is a field of consciousness that records and classifies all thoughts and sense impressions received by the objective mind. It can be voluntarily programmed with any plan, thought, or purpose to be translated into its physical or monetary equivalent. The subconscious mind works day and night continuously, using emotional feelings and faith to prioritize and achieve desires. It draws upon the forces of infinite intelligence to transform desires into physical form, using practical means to achieve this end. While the subconscious mind cannot be fully controlled, plans, desires, and purposes can be voluntarily handed over to it for transformation. The chapter on autosuggestion provides instructions for using the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is the connecting link between the finite mind of man and infinite intelligence. It is the intermediary through which one may draw upon the forces of infinite intelligence at will. It, alone, contains the secret process by which mental impulses are modified and changed into their spiritual equivalent. Protect the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is always active and will not remain idle. Neglecting to plant desires in the subconscious mind will result in it feeding upon the thoughts that reach it. The subconscious mind is continuously receiving various thought impulses, both negative and positive, without a person's knowledge. To influence the subconscious mind positively, one must shut off negative impulses and plant desires in the mind. The key to controlling the subconscious mind lies in the ability to influence it voluntarily with positive impulses of desire. All creations begin with a thought impulse, and the imagination is used to assemble thought impulses into plans. When the imagination is under control, it can be used to create plans or purposes that lead to success. All thought impulses that are intended to be transmuted into their physical equivalent must pass through the imagination and be mixed with faith. The only way to mix faith with a plan or purpose for the subconscious mind is through the imagination. The 7 major positive and negative emotions. To influence and control the subconscious mind to achieve the desire for money, it is important to understand how to communicate with it effectively. The subconscious mind responds best to the language of emotion or feeling, so it is essential to use positive emotions and avoid negative ones when giving instructions. By understanding and using the language of emotion effectively, one can influence and control their subconscious mind to achieve their desired outcomes. These are the 7 major positive emotions and 7 major negative emotions. Positive and negative emotions cannot occupy the mind at the same time. It is important to ensure that positive emotions dominate the mind to achieve desired outcomes, as a single negative emotion is sufficient to destroy all constructive aid from your subconscious mind. The law of habit can help in forming a habit of applying and using positive emotions until they dominate the mind so completely that negative emotions cannot enter it. The 12th step toward riches. The brain, a broadcasting and receiving station for thought. Observed that every human brain is both a broadcasting and receiving station for the vibration of thought. Human brains are capable of detecting and receiving thought vibrations that are being transmitted by other brains, much like how radio signals are transmitted through the ether. The subconscious mind can be viewed as the brain's sending station, responsible for broadcasting thought vibrations into the environment. On the other hand, the receiving set of the brain, picking up on these thought vibrations from the ether. The receiving set of the brain, known as the creative imagination, is responsible for receiving thoughts that are released by other brains. It acts as a mediator between a person's conscious or reasoning mind. When the mind is stimulated and its vibration rate is increased, it becomes more receptive to incoming thought vibrations that are transmitted through the ether from external sources. This process of increasing the mind's vibrational frequency can be achieved through both positive and negative emotions. It can be observed that the sending station is the mechanism by which a person mixes their thoughts with feelings or emotions and transmits them to their subconscious mind. To operate your mental broadcasting station, you need to keep three principles in mind: the subconscious mind, creative imagination, and auto-suggestion. The process is simple and starts with a desire, which acts as a stimulus to put these principles into action. The 13th step toward riches, the sixth sense, the door to the temple of wisdom. The sixth sense is the subconscious ability to receive communication from infinite intelligence without conscious effort or demand from the individual. It is also known as the creative imagination and functions as a receiving set through which ideas, plans, and thoughts can come to mind as flashes, also called hunches or inspirations. The sixth sense is difficult to describe and can only be understood by someone who has mastered the other principles of the philosophy, as they have the necessary knowledge and experience. The sixth sense can only be developed by meditation through mind development from within. It is thought to be the connection between the finite human mind and infinite intelligence, and is a combination of both mental and spiritual elements. The sixth sense is believed to be the point at which the human mind contacts the universal mind. Through the aid of sixth sense, you will be warned of impending dangers in time to avoid them, as well as being notified of the opportunities ahead. With the development of the sixth sense, a guardian angel who will open to you at all times the door to the temple of wisdom. Preparation toward riches. How to outwit the 6 ghosts of fear. In order to be successful in life, first we must understand the 3 enemies before we can apply the 13 principles efficiently. This preparation involves studying, analyzing, and understanding 3 enemies that must be cleared out. They are indecision, doubt, and fear. The presence of these 3 negatives in your mind will prevent the 6th sense from functioning. These 3 are closely related, and where one is present, the other 2 are usually found nearby. Indecision is the beginning of fear. Indecision leads to doubt, and the combination of the 2 ultimately becomes fear. These 3 negative factors are closely related and can be dangerous because they develop and spread gradually without being noticed. Sometimes they remain hidden in the subconscious mind, where they are difficult to locate and eliminate. The 6 basic fears: the fear of poverty, the fear of criticism, the fear of ill health, the fear of loss of love of someone, the fear of old age, the fear of death. These are the 6 basic fears where most people experience at some point in their lives. Susceptibility to negative influences is more deeply seated and more often fatal than all of the 6 fears. Men who accumulate great riches always protect themselves against this evil. The poverty-stricken never do. Those who succeed in any calling must prepare their minds to resist the evil. To protect yourself against negative influences, whether of your own making or the result of the activities of negative people around you, recognize that you have a willpower and put it into constant use until it builds a wall of immunity against negative influences in your own mind. Acknowledge that as a human being, you and everyone else possess inherent tendencies towards laziness, indifferent and susceptible to any suggestions that align with your personal shortcomings. You have absolute control over but one thing, and that is your thoughts. Individuals who fail to achieve success share a common characteristic. They possess a deep understanding of the various reasons for failure, and often rely on what they perceive to be foolproof excuses to justify their own lack of accomplishment. Although some of these excuses may be cunning, and a handful of them may align with the truth, they hold no value in generating wealth. The only thing that matters to the world is whether or not have you achieved success. Building alibis is a deeply rooted habit, Habits are difficult to break, especially when they provide justification for something we do. With these alibis shown, he'll believe that most people have no trouble writing out the second part of the sentence. Because finding excuses are the favorite pastime of majority of the people. Since alibis are so fatal to success, but why do people cling to their pet excuses? The answer is obvious. They defend their alibis because they created them. A man's alibi is the child of his own imagination. It is human nature to defend one's own brainchild. We have covered all the 13 principles and preparation to think and grow rich. Let's go back to the 13 principles and recap on how to think and grow rich. First, have a burning desire, which is the starting point of all achievements. You must have a clear, specific goal and an intense desire to achieve it. Wishing will not bring riches. Faith is the starting point of all accumulation of riches. You must have unwavering faith in yourself and your ability to achieve your goals. Believe that you will succeed, even in the face of challenges. Use positive affirmations and self-talk to influence your subconscious mind. Through repeated affirmations, you can reprogram your mind for success. Acquire specialized knowledge and skills related to your goals. Continuous learning and self-improvement are crucial for success. Some ways could be reading books, attending seminars, and learning from successful individuals in your field. Utilize your imagination to create a clear mental picture of your goals. Visualization helps you develop innovative ideas and strategies to achieve your desires. Build a habit of noting down your ideas to avoid them from slipping away. Remember, man can create anything which he can imagine. Create a detailed plan of action to achieve your goals. Break down your objectives into manageable steps and establish a timeline. Planning helps you harness your resources, overcome challenges, leverage collaboration, and stay focused on your goals. Make firm decisions and take decisive action. Procrastination and indecision hinder progress, so develop the habit of making quick decisions. Persevere in the face of setbacks and failures. Success often requires multiple attempts, and those who persist despite obstacles are more likely to achieve their goals. Surround yourself with like-minded individuals who share your goals and aspirations. Collaborate and exchange ideas with them to leverage collective intelligence. Sexual desire is the most powerful mind stimulant. Utilize sexual desire to fuel your creative and productive endeavors. Direct your sexual energy towards achieving your goals rather than seeking it in physical form. Understand the power of your subconscious mind and its influence on your thoughts and actions. Always remember to protect your subconscious mind against all negative emotions. Only let positive emotions stay, as positive and negative emotions cannot occupy the mind at the same time. Utilize your brain power effectively by engaging in critical thinking and creative problem solving. Train your mind to focus on solutions rather than dwelling on problems. Develop your intuition and rely on your gut instincts. The more you trust and act upon your intuitive guidance, the more it will lead you to opportunities and success. Indecision, fear, and doubt are crucial elements that prevent the sixth sense from functioning. These are covered in the chapter on how to outwit the ghost of fear. These 13 steps form a comprehensive framework for achieving success and accumulating wealth. By following these principles and adopting the right mindset, individuals can unlock their potential and turn their dreams into reality. The master key is intangible, but it is powerful. It is the privilege of creating, in your own mind, a burning desire for a definite form of riches. There is no penalty for the use of the key, but there is a price you must pay if you do not use it. The price is failure. By utilizing the key and conquering oneself, there is an immense reward in the form of satisfaction, which is granted to those who are able to compel life to provide whatever is desired. The reward is worthy of your effort. Will you make the start and be convinced? You have made to the end of the video. Thank you for watching and being part of this incredible community. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, please give it a thumbs up or hit the like button. Your support not only encourages me to continue creating content, but also helps others discover this video and benefit from these life-changing principles. Together, let's think, grow, and achieve greatness. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Until next time.